Hi and welcome to another Python calculator designed using a for loop. So let me show you guys how this works. Supposing I say 7 multiplied by 6 there. Let's divide that by 3 and let's add something to it. Okay, let's use plus minus. There we go. Clear. Alright, let's find the square root of this. Okay, plus minus, let's add something to that. Okay, and let's check out that and see if that works. The decimal place works. Multiply that by 6. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is take you guys straight into Python development environment, and we put one of these together using a for loop to generate the number pads right here. So let's do that now, guys. Okay guys, let's start by importing tkinner and make sure all is imported. We also import the math operators as well, and let's say class, let's say calc there, and in there I'm going to define a function in there, and that is going to be initialized as follows. So it's going to be self there, and enter a column there. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm now going to say self, let me go for dot arithmetic operator. So operator, right, equals, there's nothing in there for now. Then the next thing I would like to do, let's say self dot result, and the results this time is going to be false for now. Okay, now the other declaration I'm going to implement, we include, let's say check sum, check whatever value you have in there, sum, let's say that equals false for now. And what else do we need? Let's go for total, where I'm going to store all my, okay, then total for now is 0, and let's say the current value that is equals nothing. What about input? And input value that equals true. Right. So okay, now that is completed for my definition, let me declare something for the whole application itself, or for the whole calculator itself. So that's going to be add value. This variable is going to be for calc. Okay, now let's say root, that's the program itself, equals tk, and this tk will give it a name. Let's say root dot title. I'm gonna make that calculator. Yeah, calculator. So that will be calculator. Okay, let me go for root dot resizable. I'm going to say no to that. Resizable, that equals false, and for the height is going to be equals false as well. Height equals false. Close that. And what else do I need? Let's create another variable here, because I'm going to need a frame. Let's undo that. to say calc equals frame, and this frame is within the root, and let's just say calc dot grade there. So calc dot grade. Now the next thing I want to do now is let's see if I have actually created a frame here. So but before that we need to say root dot main. I like it to loop. Right, so let's go to file, save. I'm going to save it as calculator underscore for loop, because the buttons will be created using for loop. I'll just save it straight on mine. Yeah, I think I have a Python folder here somewhere. Let's save it in there. Save. Okay, let's run it and see what's going to happen. And this resizable is going to cause a problem, because look at it, resizable is 4. So for now, let me comment that out and run it again, then you see what I'm talking about. There we go, that's my calculator frame already, so close that. Now the next thing I would like to do is let me create the entry, the text area. So right below here, let's move this up a little bit. Right below here, I'm going to say txt display. That is the name of my text area. Txt display equals entry. Entry is the object that will create the text box. Then let's say calc. I want it to be reside or to be resident inside the calc itself, and my font, let's define my font as well. Okay, even before the definition of this font, let's try this out alone and just see. And right underneath here, I'm going to specify that would be for the grade equals roll equals 0 and comma column equals 0 as well. Okay, then I like it to actually span across 4 buttons. Span equals 4 comma, and let's pad it by 1. There we go. And the next thing is any value in there, dot insert equals 0. And let's see what's going to happen. So I'm going to save that for now before I enter all the properties for this text box. Let's just run it and see what's going to happen. There we go. Look at the text box right there. You see that, guys? So you can enter whatever you want to enter in there. But let's change all of these attributes and make it more presentable. Font. Let me go for area, and there, that is equals, let's make it 20 bold. Right, 20 bold. Right, let's, I think, yeah, that's it. There should be another comma here. Now let's run it again and see what's going to happen. There we go. You see the improvement being made now. Okay, I would like to justify it right. So to justify it right, what I would like to do is right here, I'm going to enter, first thing first, let me enter my back color. I like this color, so it's going to be back color equals powdered, powder blue. Right, that's my color there defined, and let's say the border around it is 20, comma, then the width. Let me specify a width. I'm going to make that 28, and let's justify the text. Justify the text. We make that right there. Okay, I think I may have set all the properties how I want it to look like. So let's see what I've done so far. There we go. So that's how I want it. So that's fine. Now the button. In the case of the button, I intend to declare a variable I'll call number pad. There, number pad in this case equals, let's see how the number pad on our keyboard works. It's 7, 8, 9, then we have 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. That is my number pad. Now I declare another variable for I, and my buttons is going to be known as btn. Let's bring this up. So btn equals the following array. Array. Okay, inside this array, let me first of all let's declare, use a for loop for j equals, okay, j in the range of, I'm going to say 2 to 5 because 2 to 5 because I'll be adding something else right on top. Then let's say btn dot append the following, and the following object is button, and this button I would like it to be inside my calc variable there, and the width of this button, let's make it 6. The height for the button, let's make that 2. Yeah, so I'm going to close that. We can also add some, yeah, let's add some of these components to it. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to copy that and paste that right here. There we go. And we can even add color to it as well. Copy that and paste that there. Let's change this to 2, and the text that I want is going to be text equals number pad, this very one, number pad on each button. Number pad equals whatever I have inside my array. There we go. Right, now the next thing I'd like to do is to arrange them on a row and a column. So let's say button I dot grid, and this grid is going to be in a row. The row is J because that is J right here. Let's move this up so that you can see it. The row is J. What about the column itself? The column itself, that means I'm going to have to create a column for it. In the case of column, let's call that Q. So let me copy all of this, copy that and just paste that here, and that means I will have to indent this one, indent, and So the column is going to be 2, 3, 4. That's 4. That's 3. 2. Then this one will be 3 as well. P is going to be, no, let's say Q is going to be 3. Alright. So if you guys are following, this one will be 3, 4, and 5, and this one will be 1, 2, and 3. So column is going to be P, oh Q, sorry. Column equals Q right there. And let's give the padding equals 1. Close that. Now the next thing I want to do is, let's say I itself, I plus equals 1. So let it loop around. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we've done so far. I think maybe I should break this down so that you guys can see the whole lines of codes. Okay, let me just come in here, save and run. There we go. Okay, you see that? These are the buttons. However, nothing is happening right now. You see, it makes life a little bit more easier using a for loop. However, the one I created earlier shows you how to create more buttons. Now, the next thing we want to do is, let's create the operators, the arithmetic operator buttons. Okay, as you can see, I've started my variable here. If you guys noticed, I started that with 2 to 5. I can always start it as 1 to 4. If I run it, the same thing will happen. Okay, but the problem I'm going to have is because I want some other operators up here on top of the number pad, so that's going to be an issue. And maybe we can even change the design around, get rid of the color inside the button itself, and the other operators will have the color. So I can copy all of these for now. Let me copy this, copy that, and the color that I have in here, I'm going to get rid of it. I don't want no color on the number pad, so move this one back to where it was. So if we run it, this is how our calculator is going to look like there. So close that. Now let's create the very first button. Well, first thing first, let me put a break in there, put another break in here, and the operator, for the operators, I'm going to start by saying as follows: button 0. Button 0 equals object button there, and it's right in here. The text content on button 0 is going to be 0, so let's change that to 0 there. Okay, so let's move this here. That is button 0 taken care of, but we need to find a grid, a location for the button 0. So I'm going to copy all of this and just paste it right there. And this, I'm going to change this to, let's say, column 1, and this is 0 there. If I run this program now, you see this very button 0 will be on top of 7, and that is my reason for moving 7 down a little bit. So let's move the buttons. Let's move the buttons down. So the first thing is to come in here and change this one to start at row number 25. Okay, if we run it now, 0 will be right on top There we go. Okay, but I don't want 0 right there. I want 0 to be right underneath. Alright, so I'm going to copy this. Let's break this into 2 so that you guys can see the codes. So in here, break this down. I'm going to copy these, and right on top, this is what I want. Let's move button 0 below anyway. Paste that, and I'm going to paste another one. So this is going to be button CE, clear entry. This one is going to be button clear, side by side. Alright, now this is 1 0, and this is going to be 1 1, column 1. What do we have in here? That is going to be CE, and this one is just going to be C. Why this will be in row number 5. Okay, I guess you guys are following. Let's break it down so that you can see it. Let's add one more button. This one more button is going to be, paste that in there. We will call this square root. Square root. Okay, for the square root, you can always copy that inside Word document. Okay, for the square root symbol, I'm going to go into Word and go to Insert. Now we need a symbol right there. Click on symbol, and let's see, right there, that's it. I'm just going to say, okay, I'm going to accept that. Close, just copy that square, copy it, minimize this, and paste it right in here. There we go. That's taken care of. Now the other one I want to create will be for the addition. Paste that in there. This will be odd. In the case of odd, I will end up using ASCII character here. Let's say char equals 43. That is the plus sign, taken care of. Right, now let's position them accordingly. That is 1, that's 0 1, this will be 2 3, there, this is 5, that's fine. So if I run it now, this is what, or this is how it's going to look like, the calculator. Let's see. There we go, guys, look at that. Okay, we're missing the plus. Let's come in and see why is the plus not there. In the case of the plus, oh no, that is wrong. That should have been 1 3 here. Okay, let's run it again and see that. There we go. Okay, I believe you now get the whole idea. So all I just need to do now is to populate all the components that are meant to be here and here. Right, so let's come in here. We have 0 in place. Copy this. That is going to be for the dots. That's for my decimal place, and that is the dot sign. If you want, you can also use ASCII character for the dot. Alright, then the next one we want is, it's going to be plus minus. Paste that in there. Plus minus ASCII character, I can still remember that is 177. There we go. And if this one is, that would be 1, and this will be in column 2. Then we need equals. Come right down, paste that in there. This is the ASCII character plus minus PM. This is equals. Okay, enter equals here, and this will be 3. There we go. So if I run it now, let's divide this thing, so that's okay. Yeah, let's paste this here. This is for row number 5. Row 5. All of the component on row 5. Let's come in here and run it. See, there we go, guys. Look at that. So we just need to complete the other arithmetic operators now, but nothing is happening right here for now. Okay, let's take care of subtract. I'm going to copy this, paste that there. Subtract, that will be for subtract, maybe multiplication and division. So let's give them a name so that we don't mix things up. Division, multiply, and subtract. Sub. Right. In the case of subtract, that will be row number 2. Row 2, column 3. Right. In the case of multiplication, that will be row 3. That's 3. And in the case of division, we're going to make that row number 4 there. Now we have all our operators in place, so I'm going to copy this. Let's paste it right here. All of the arithmetic operators. And what else do we need? We now need to give them proper symbol. This is supposed to be sub. The proper symbol for subtraction, that is going to be, the ASCII character is 45. For multiplication, the ASCII character, that would be 42. And that's ASCII and binary. And division is going to be 247. There we go. Let's run this program and see what we've done so far. There we go, guys. Plus, minus, multiplication, and division, all taken care of. So the framework of this calculator is now officially completed. So all that is left for us to do now is to take care of the main function itself, how the whole system will work. So have a good look at it. Look at the lines of code, take it from the top. I'm going to get rid of this fixed whatever, just get rid of it. We don't need that. Okay, have a good look at the lines of code from here, and let's take it down before we start with the operators or with the other functions that will carry out the calculation itself. And there, so you can copy that now. Alright, okay guys, let's go right up here and start with the other functions. So right there, the first thing I want to do is to define the following, and that's going to be known as, let's call it display. And display is going to be self value there. Now the first thing is, let's get that indented. Let's say display txt display, and we'll say dot delete to delete the whatever content we have in there. And this is how you delete. You say 0, n. That's how you delete. And for the beginning of the program, I like the display itself to insert some value. So the value that will be inserted into the display will be 0. So that's insert that is 0, and that's going to be the value that we enter. Alright, now that that is taken care of, let's do some other thing. In here, I'm going to say, let's declare as follows. I think the first thing is, let's take care of clear. This function we clear entry. Clear entry. That's the very first one. So that will be self. Okay, and there. And make sure you don't forget your columns. Alright, so the function clear entry, the entry, I want my entry to go inside result, so that is going to be false. Let's copy that, copy this, paste that in there. Result equals false. Current, let's say the current value in this case, that's, let's make that 0, because once it's cleared I want it to change back to 0. But now self dot display dot display equals 0, and let's say self dot input value that equals true. That is it right here, the input value equals true. So that is that taken care of. That's just to clear. What about clear all? Paste that in there. Get this indented as well, and this is going to be clear all entry. Clear all entry. In the case of clear all entry, let's say clear equals this up there. So instead of repeating myself, just copy that, paste that in there. Self dot clear. There. Now total. Let's make total 0. That's total there. I'm just gonna get rid of all of this here. So if we want, we can always use command to activate this by saying, so let me just copy this. That's going to be command. Command equals add value. So let's come right down here and look for clear. This very first one here, I'm going to put a comma here. So that's going to be command equals add value dot clear. That is CE, clear all entry. That, there we go. I'm going to copy this. That is the very first one there, and the next one is this. Let me copy this again. Just clear. Where is it? Right here. Paste, and that's going to be just clear. So what I've just done is this function created up here, I've just called it inside these two buttons. So let's run it and see what's going to happen. Okay, before I run it, let's see. Oops, look here guys, this is going to give us an error. That should be display. So let's run it now. Okay, let's enter whatever value in here. These buttons, they're not doing anything yet, but let's just enter anything there. There we go, the clear is working, and that works too, so that's good. 1 2 is fine. Let's work on this and this one before we take care of all of this. Come right down here. Now let's come right underneath here and take care of PM. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Let's copy all of these up to here, and I'll paste that here. So paste. I will now call this, let's change the name. I need to get it indented. Change this name to Mass PM. Right. In the case of Mass PM, result is false anyway, but the other problem is, let's say float minus float, and what are we floating? That's going to be txt display dot get whatever value we have in there. Right, that is that. 1 2, yeah, oh, this should be 2. Okay, and the other thing is display is going to be current. Copy that. Just copied it from where I initialize everything. Come right here and just paste it there. Display equals current. That's the PM, which is meant to be plus or minus. And the other one is, let's go for square root. I'm going to copy these again and use it for my square root. Paste. Indent. So I'm going to call this square root. Square underscore root. The case of square root, result is false as well. In this case, we're going to use the math function, which is here, mass dot square. This function is right in here. I've just called it, that's why I imported that. Okay, make sure you import that as well. Alright, so let's see, that is correct. Display equals current, so that is fine. So I've created 4, actually 5, 1 2 3 4 5 different functions. Now let's call PM and square root. I'm going to copy, no, let's copy square root, that's a lot. Come in here and let's go right down to where we have PM right there, comma, command equals added underscore value dot square root. That's all we need to do. So I'm just going to copy that again and use it for PM. That is, oh, this is PM, wrong, so we need to change that to mass PM square root. Let's see, square root, where do, oh, there we go, we have square root right up here, and paste that in there. Okay, let's see, before running it, to make sure the names are correct. That's square root and that's PM. Alright, that's PM here. Okay, let's run it now. Oh, we do have an error, so let's see what happened. Oh, look at the spelling, that is wrong. PM, the spelling is wrong. Might as well just copy it. Copy that, and where is it? Right here. Paste. Try that again. It's very okay. That's fine. That's fine now. So, like I said, these buttons are doing nothing yet. So let me just enter whatever in there. Square root of that, yeah. PM, that is fine. Clear. Good. So 1 2 3 4 works. Now let's come in here and take care of the other functions. Okay, now that these declaration has been taken care of. So let's enter the order of just speed that up. Here are the rest functions. Let's take it from the top here at the beginning of the program, and this is for the numbers. Then take it down here. Inside the numbers, I have the function that will take care of the decimal on any number entered, and this is to take care of the total. This very one is to take care of the arithmetic operators, and right here, that is when the whole calculation takes place. I just had to speed that up because of time. Okay, and the rest of the functions that we defined earlier, there they are. So the next thing I want to do now is take it down so that you see it. So the next thing would be to call each of those functions within the button. For the arithmetic, for the number pad, here is the command. You need to add this very command to your number pad. Now we need to add, we've taken care of this, we now need to take care of the others. For addition, to take care of addition, all we need to do is, I'm going to copy this because I've already taken care of this. I'll just copy it, copy and paste it right in here. That's for addition. That is lambda column add value dot operator, and the operator this time around is add. And repeat the same thing for subtraction. Paste that in there, and that is subtract. So I am actually calling all of these operators here. There we go. Now take it down. Subtraction is taken care of. Now let's take care of multiplication. Paste that in there. That is for multiply. Division is already taken care of. And we need to take care of dot. Here taken care of. That is the total. Total is done. Plus or minus is done. And we then need to take care of this dot. So come in here, paste that in there, and that is just going to be enter number. I'm going to get rid of the lambs there. Undo that. The dot is going to be enter numbers. Number entered. And now we get rid of this. Right, delete that. There. Okay. Okay, that's dots taken care of. Get rid of that. It's just called enter number. Now the 0. So just copy all of this. And let's paste that right here. And just change the value here to 0. There we go. And that's all there is to it. Right. So have a good look at the lines of code before we run it. So I'm going to take it right to the top. Up to here. Have a good look at it. Now, take it down. Up to here. Take it down again. And one more time before we run this program. These are all the functions. Now we have the display buttons, number pad, arithmetic operator buttons, and there. So let's run this program now, and we can call it the end of the whole program. There we go. Using a for loop to generate the numbers, multiply that by 2 there, divide by 3 plus whatever minus that there. Let's check out square root, plus or minus, clear. Okay, now let's see, 45 multiplied by 9. Okay, we change our mind, and let's see, multiply by 3. There we go. Alright, so with that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoyed. You all have a nice day now. Bye for now.